Hi everyone, Rob Lukey with Shop Prop. I'm going to chat really quickly about the Shop Prop guarantee, the user dashboard. I'm going to talk a little bit about Slice Prop. I kind of want to talk about how Slice Prop actually is going to work. And remember, Slice Prop is, and I'll get into that in 2 seconds. That'll be at the end of the conversation. But as far as Shop Prop guarantee, remember we guarantee the largest rebates in the country, and we have a buyer's agency agreement in place that tells you that you need to let your lender know about all those rebates. State of Washington, as I mentioned before, it requires this to be signed, and most other states are as well. So you want to be careful, obviously, of what you signed in regards to this with other agents, because you might be locking yourself into giving away your commission and other things. We're obviously fighting as much as possible to get this changed, these rules and laws and agreements changed from a standpoint that buyers can do whatever they want with their rebates, sellers can do. We want it as liberal as possible. So we're out on that front trying to make that happen, just like we always have been, and being an advocate for the consumer. We're going to continue to do that versus somebody that's trying to limit the consumer's choices when it comes to rebates, selling options, and so forth. One of the things that we've done is introduced our new home buyer and seller dashboard. So remember, you can navigate around this, I think, fairly easily. This is your funnel. And then when you're in a particular offer or in a particular property or something like that, you can go ahead and click here and you can go ahead and go to the actual transaction. The conversation window, very easily. This is all your messages that you have contained in one spot with Shop Prop. Shop Prop obviously is introducing Slice Prop, which is fractional investing for people. So what does that look like? What it looks like is that what you're going to be, and this is obviously Slice Prop 1.0. It's rolled out to a few select beta users only. But what you'll be able to do is you'll be able to come and search for properties that are considered hot, auction properties, properties that are on the market. You'll also be able to take this software and combine that as well. So you'll be able to go ahead and combine, if you have a client, if you have a couple, let's say friends or associates that you want to buy a property with, you can do that as well. When you're in here, you'll be able to see any type of opening orders that you have, right? So to give you an idea what that looks is that if you were looking at this particular property, for example, you could put an order in, right, on this property. You can go ahead and submit your order on a property individually, or you can go ahead and submit what's called a passive order. And if you look at this, this says invest $100,000 in the next the next property slice prop purchases. So you can make it either a passive order, something like this, invest $50,000, and you can either use that Slice Prop's discretion, or you could actually say in the next two properties that Slice Prop buys, and these particular counties are what we're focused on right now, and we'll be rolling out other ones as well. If you were registered in that state, obviously you can use this to buy any property in any state that we're registered in. So this will place that, and then what you'll do is that when you place this order, you'll automatically go into a queue with our system that will be filled on a first in, first filled basis. So if you put this offer in, you begin placing this offer, you'll now see these two orders in to buy these two properties. We're going to see that on our admin screen, and it will come in on a first in, first filled basis. So the next property that we purchase, either as a group or individually, you'll be part of that investment. Okay, that's one option. The other option is for you to be a direct person, where what you could literally do is you can put in an order, right, that is live. So that, for example, let's say we canceled this order. This particular order is saying that I'm willing to buy of this particular property $60,000 worth, or 30% of just this particular property. So I can do that as well. Okay, so I can put, this auction's already started. So again, this isn't going to work on this particular property, but I'll show you what I'm talking about. So let's say you're searching for a property and this property looks pretty good to you. So you decide that you want to put in an order for this particular property. You can do that by simply going into a match. So you can either purchase this whole thing, you can choose to make your bid public or private. You can go ahead and choose to purchase the whole thing, or you can go ahead and click on it and do a max match offer. And what that means is that you literally can go in and you can say, hey, I want to have 30% exposure on this particular property, so I don't want to own that much of it, and my max that I'm willing to put into it is going to be $40,000, and it's going to be either match the slice prop bid, no maximum bid, whatever you decide that you want to put as far as a bid on this property. So opening bid is 403,000. Let's say I would put in a bid for 420,000 on this particular property, and that's going to be my max bid, and I'm willing to do 30% of this property. That means I'm willing to buy 30%. Let's say I only wanted to buy 20% of this property. That means I'm going to buy 20% of this property. I could also choose to max the slice prop bid. In other words, slice prop is going to be bidding on that property, or I'm going to go ahead and say, no, this is my maximum. I'm going to agree to the selling terms, and I'm going to go ahead and submit the offer. Once I submit the offer, you'll go ahead and confirm that, yeah, this is, so you're going to put $84,000 into this property with your maximum bid. That'll go ahead and pop up, and then that bid will be in your system. So you'll be able to go ahead and obviously see that offer in here. Okay. So in here, you have a variety of different orders, right? You have a passive order that is saying just invest in whatever it looks good as far as to slice prop, or I want to invest in these individual properties. You'll have those options to decide what you want to do. Now, let's talk about money flow. And I know this is a little bit longer than typical. What will happen is that you can either choose to go ahead and put money into your account in a variety of different ways. Number one, you can buy in the Slice Prop LLC, which will then go into a Wells Fargo account. You'll get a sub account at Wells Fargo, and then you'll be able to log into Wells Fargo, see that money there, and then it will obviously come out when you make a purchase. Okay. Now, let's say you go ahead and decide you don't want to do that. You want to match up with other people. That's a possibility as well. That'll work just like a regular sale where everybody agrees they're going to go ahead and be partners on this particular property. Slice Prop will manage that for us and go ahead and manage the investment for you if you want. That means that if it's a fix and flip, if we're looking at a property and we say, hey, what does this look like? If we're going to be able to see research, how much the property was worth. I'll give you an idea of what that looks like. So if you go back to your main here and we go into close P&L, these are some of actual properties that I bought. I put these in, I bought and sold. So when you look at one of these, you'll see that I only owned a portion of this particular property, right? You can see here, if I click view, you'll see that I owned a portion of this property, and you can see actually when I went ahead and sold it. Let's just take a look at this here. For this property, for example, I owned 80% of it, right? So I can click on this, and what you'll be able to see when you're looking at a property, you'll be able to see what Slice Prop valued it out, what the estimate was, what the selling expenses were going to be, what the carrying cost is going to be, and then what the actual was, and then what the actual profit was on this particular property. Okay. You'll also be able to see any research notes, and this is beforehand, right? And then when the purchase is made, we'll go ahead and put the actual selling and so forth. So you'll be able to see, obviously, in your closed-in P&L, what properties and what obviously happened with them and so forth. That's the flow of it. I hope that helps. Again, if you have a question about this, you can join the wait list. Right now, I open it up to just to select beta people only, but we'll be launching a Slice Prop 2.0 that will have the functions that I just spoke about, and it will be available so that people can come on, they can search for properties, they can decide what kind of offer they want to put in, whether it's a specific directed offer on a particular property and they just want to own a portion of that, or if it's an actual investment property. Inside the research, remember when you go inside the research, you're going to be able to see, for example, if it's a fix and flip or if it's something that is more of a fix and hold property. So you're going to be able to see what that looks like. So these are all you can tell based on the rehab, and there's no rental here, that this is simply a fix and flip, right? There are going to be fix and rent available too, but this happens to be a fix and flip, so you'll be able to see that before you decide to look at the property. You can also inside of your passive inside of here, your passive, you can choose to only be involved with fix and flips or fix and rents, depending on what your investment strategy is. Hope that helps. No, this was longer than usual, but it'll give you an idea of where we're kind of headed with.